Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Very happy to have Gab Marcotti with us, Ali Moreno and Shaka Hislop.
Can I just say, Kate, you've been known for some stale jokes over the years.
Yeah.
I think you outdid yourself today.
Really?
Yeah.
That what was it? The Minty Fresh?
It was called Minty, so
Yeah.
I thought it was a Minty Fresh.
Let me tell you something. That caught me off guard. And I've come to expect some bad jokes from you, Kate. I think that's part of,
I think, Shaq, you have to be more understanding. Kay's going through some tough times.
Oh, she lost her slipper.
Yeah, she's going through a Cinderella sort of
lost
time.
one of her slippers.
You want to
That's
tell
right.
the world what's going on,
You
Kay?
can tell them.
Well, Kay has this very thick, scooshy, sort of noisy sandals that she walks around, which if she
Can't sneak up on anybody.
No,
in
you can tell
sandals.
she's coming around the corner
Yep.
because they make. It's a very clear
Don't
noise.
sneak up on nobody.
No. But there was no noise today, and so what happened with Kay? Apparently, she's missing a sandal.
Missing a sandal?
One
sandal.
Not a pair of sandals, but there's a sandal somewhere in this company now that we haven't been able to find. Cinderella.
I'm still not ruling any of you guys out.
No.
If it were one of us, not me and Ali, the whole crew, who would it be? We included everybody who calls ESPN Campus home.
It would be Stevie or Dan.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think
You'd
so.
be up there though, Ali.
What are you talking about, Kay?
Well, I work, just by the process of elimination, I work with you the most.
And you are a kind of squishy slipper kind of guy.
You look at me and it feels like that?
Even the description he had of it, it's as if he knows more about it.
That's
than he
right.
should.
That's right.
So I gave myself up?
Yeah.
I gave myself away?
You're a person of interest.
I am. I'm in the investigation.
Gab, who do you think stole my slipper?
To be honest, I've gone down this YouTube rabbit hole. There's all these videos on YouTube from people being interrogated by the police who accidentally give themselves up and offer clues. And I suspect Ali might have just done that with his detailed description of your slipper.
Maybe I was just being honest.
Yeah,
Maybe I was just an interested citizen trying to help. I'm just saying.
He was trying to help me, to be fair.
Maybe you're just revisiting the scene of your crime.
Is that what I was doing?
That's what I think.
Shaka, you seem to know a whole lot about this.
No.
We won't go into it, but I've got some new slippers now in their place, okay? All right.
Yeah, let's not
New
go
but
into
old.
it. Let's not
New
go
but
into
old.
it. Right? Let's not go into it.
Fluffy Crocs. All right, start, bench or sell these managers based on this season. Pochettino, Tuchel, Ten Hag. I'll start with you, Gab.
Oh, goodness me.
Ugh,
This and this
you're really
season.
gonna make me do this. Okay, for me, I'd probably start Ten Hag before I get Pelters here. I would bench Pochettino, and I would drop Tuchel.
Nah, I'm going to start Tuchel.
Oh,
I'm going to start Tuchel.
That's based on this season, Shaq.
At least Bayern's still in the reckoning for something. I'm not sure I could say the same about the other two.
It's about this season, Shaq.
Yeah, but at least Bayern is still in the reckoning for something. And then I would bench Ten Hag and drop Poch.
Yeah. Pochettino's getting dropped for sure. Certainly after today.
Yeah. It's,
Quotes following.
after today's Poch's.
Yes, he's taking a hit. For sure he's taking a
Where are
hit.
you on Tuchel and Ten Hag then?
I mean, it's hard for me to start Ten Hag. It really is hard.
It's hard to start anybody.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
This is not a decision that you want to make as a manager.
Pochettino got his team to a cup final.
Hey. Did you see his quotes? It's like, did you see his quotes after the game? Hey, no, guys were tired. We're playing for penalties. They'll be happy with penalties. No. Pochettino is dropped after today. And I would rather play with a man down rather than starting either Ten Hag or Tuchel. So there you go. That's what I
Ten
would.
Hag had all the excuses yesterday, though, as well.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
What's that?
Ten Hag
Ten
had
Hag
a
had
lot
his
of
own
excuses.
Oh, no, well,
excuses
he's
yesterday.
really good at
This has
that.
been excuse city between the three of them.
Gab, we thought you were a Tuchelista. Has he disappointed you?
I was a Tuchelista, but because I love Thomas Tuchel, the old Tommy, the self-anointed rule breaker Tommy, the bar's pretty high with him. And when I look at where he is this season, I can come to no other conclusion. And I think the proof is in the pudding, right? Pochettino will be back next season. Ten Hag will probably be back next season. We know for a fact Tommy T is done, despite getting himself a brand new Harry Kane in the summer. And I think, this has really been the most disappointing stretch of his career, both in terms of the patterns of play we've seen out on the pitch, as well as his personal behaviors, his breakdown in relationship. All of this, it's got to be Tuchel.
For the boys, is Liverpool's win today versus Chelsea proof positive that their bench is deep enough and injuries won't be the reason their Premier League title aspirations won't be derailed? And let me add, Stevie Nicol has come over today after the game saying that this is the last piece of silverware they'll win because of the injury situation.
Listen, you see Liverpool's team today, and it's hard to find a reason that this team goes on and does what's needed. When you know who City can be, when you see who Arsenal have been over the last couple of weeks in particular, it's hard to make that argument for this version of Liverpool. And listen, I give them full credit for winning the cup as they did today. But for them to keep that level for the next, what have we got, another 3 months of the season, it's hard to see that happening.
And all these injuries are coming. You never want to have this amount of injuries, but they're coming completely at the wrong time of the season for Liverpool and a completely the wrong stretch. And so, if you don't get Mohamed Salah back, Darwin Núñez, Alisson, I suppose you can argue one way or another because Kelleher was so good today, but still, you would want to have your best goalkeeper out there. And the name just kind of keep coming, and you don't know indeed what happens today to a guy like Luis Diaz, who was leaking oil and in the extra time period because he ran himself to death, essentially. I just don't understand and don't see a pathway by which Liverpool survives all of this. They survived today, and that was impressive in the manner in which they did. But over a long period of time, while Manchester City is getting healthier, they're not. They're going in the wrong direction. It's hard to make an argument for Liverpool.
The next question's for Gab. Are Inter playing the best football in Europe right now?
I don't know. I wouldn't say in Europe. They're playing really, really good football. And I think they're as close to their max potential. And I think, and I'm bang on about him, but what Simone Inzaghi is doing with this team, the way he's regenerated the older players, the way he's been so smart about doling out playing time, the way he's doing something which, I don't know, it's the kind of thing where you're either a fool or a king if you do it, which is having programmed substitutions, right? The same guys come out at the same time, other people come in. He does this every single game. He rotates to a degree that I don't think any other top team in Europe really does. I mean, City do rotate a lot with their starting 11s, less so with their substitutes. It's like he's exploiting this whole thing to squeeze every ounce that he can out of this team. And right now, that's exactly what they're doing.
Have you ever seen a referee substituted during a match, just as it happened during today's Real Madrid-Sevilla match?
Yeah, that's happened.
I've seen it. Have you been involved in a game where it's happened?
I can't remember. It's kind of... It happens, and you don't... Not that extraordinary, so you don't remember it.
No. It's not significant enough. No. And mind you, for players, referees, you don't have the best relationship with them. So if they go off the field, it's not like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with my life? You just get on to who is the next guy that you're going to complain to. And again, that's the fourth official. Once he jogs on, then you start getting on him because obviously you're no longer talking to the guy who got injured.
I'm talking about how we heard the guys in the show today saying that, when there's a young player on the pitch, that the opposition manager isn't saying, oh, take care of them, they're just a baby, be careful. That was a referee today that came on that was inexperienced in that level coming on.
And right away, as he jogged out, they were already chirping. Lucas Ocampo was talking, and Sergio Ramos was talking, and the Real Madrid player, because everybody wants to have their say. Everybody wants to. It's like boxing out for a rebound in basketball, right? You want to make sure you have your say with the referee, so you start in your mind influencing some of his decisions.
Yep. Well, Real Madrid TV did a lot of that before the game.
Yeah, well, they tried, yeah.
They beat everybody on that. Okay, is today's...
Taught them well, Kate.
It was nothing to do with
Well,
me. It
yes,
wasn't like
you
that in
did.
my day. Is today's result in the Carabao Cup final a bigger win for Jurgen Klopp or a bigger defeat for Mauricio Pochettino, Gab?
I know you guys have been giving Pochettino a ton of stick, but ultimately, Chelsea are mid-table, and there's a reason for that. What Klopp did in these circumstances, with like 7 starters out, and then being forced late in the game to chuck on all these kids. I think almost none of them had played at all before this season. I think that's pretty incredible. You know, riding that wave, riding that kind of ebb and flow where they had their chances. Then there was a period where looked like Chelsea carved out several chances towards the end of the 90 minutes to go and kind of, you know, pull that back and win it, you know, before penalties. I think this is a bigger achievement for Jurgen Klopp than it is a lack of achievement for Pochettino.
What would have been your team manager's reaction if a bunch of academy players almost dominated your team?
Oh, God. They hung us out to dry. I can't think of a manager who kind of would have those excuses if we play against a young team or lower league team or anything of the sort, and put out that kind of a performance. I dread to think, and then let's remember, you know, I'm more old school. Well, certainly managers from in my day were old school, hair dryer types. It wouldn't have gone down well, and that's putting it as nice as I can.
Yeah, but it's hard to make a case for Pochettino and Chelsea when I imagine if you go to a stadium and you buy the program for that day's game, if there are players that are not included in the program, they have like a supplemental sheet that they stick in the program. All these players for Liverpool would have been in the supplemental sheet. These are guys that were not in the program to begin with and would not have been an option, and only became an option because of all the injuries that Liverpool have. And so, I mean, there's something to be said about, at least we thought so, that there's something to be said about experience, about the moment, about the pressure, about the environment, the occasion. And these kids, give them credit. They showed up and they just play. It's like, well, all right, give me the ball. I'm going to turn, I'm going to run, I'm going to pass the ball, I'm going to do the things that I've been doing and got me to this point, and bless them for doing that. But there is another part to this story, and that is Chelsea allowed that to happen, especially and particularly from the end of the 90 minutes until the start of the extra time, where Chelsea had all the momentum, and instead of taking a step forward, they took a step back and allowed these players to now take over and grow in confidence. And you're seeing Bobby Clark and McConnell and Dance, and I'm like, who are these guys? And I'm not the only person who's doing that. There are people in that stadium that are searching for 60. What's his name? What's his number? What's his name? They don't know them either, and yet they're out there making a difference, and the $100 million players are not. That's embarrassing.
Okay, apart from Barca being a storied club, that cannot be an appealing destination for a big manager, right? Their poor financial situation aside, they contend with Carlo's Madrid team that boasts Mbappe, Vinny and Bellingham. That surely has to be more daunting than Pep's City, Gab.
So first of all, I'm contractually obliged to remind everybody that Kylian Mbappe has not signed for Real Madrid yet, or if he has, he's keeping it secret. It's not official yet. So, but beyond that, there's no question about it. The next manager of Barcelona is going to have to deal with a lot of unpleasantness, and you know, the financial situation, the levers, Laporta. It's all very, very well documented. The good news is you do have a core of young players. Gavi will be back next season. And, you know, I think even though this isn't really the Barcelona way, if you take a step back and you say, guys, we done screwed up. We need to put the finances in order. We're going to go through a season with the kids where we'll promote guys from the cantera. We may need to sacrifice somebody. Let's do that. Let's do this. Culés, please get behind us, and you find the right manager to lead you in that context. Maybe it can work. I think he'll still finish top 3. But yeah, on paper, if you're looking for a quick fix and instant success, there's no question other clubs will be more appealing if you're that sort of manager.
If it is Mbappe, Vinny, Bellingham, do potential Barcelona managers look at who they're coming up against in La Liga?
But it's still the appeal of Barcelona. And let's not forget that managers at this level, beyond their tactical knowledge and their ability to handle a very difficult locker room and the politics of a club, beyond all of those things, I tell you what they have. All of them, they do it. Ego. They have ego. So they can be the guy who tells himself, I will turn this around. And it will be on my terms. And I'm going to get the most out of this player and the young guys, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You add that to the appeal of Barcelona, and it's difficult, a manager at that level, to say, nah, not for me. Barcelona is not one of the clubs that you just kind of turn your back on. I don't think that's the case.
Shaka, would the result today play on the mind of Caicedo and Lavia? Do players ever have regrets about transfers?
No, I don't think they do. I think you make a decision at the moment, and you stand by that reasoning. And for whatever it is, we could sit here and say they made the wrong decision, but they're the ones who were faced with whatever factors they had in front of them, and made that decision. And now you kind of live and die by it. I don't think you turn on and regret it at all. I don't think you revisit that at all.
All right, that will do it for today's questions. Thanks so much for sending them in.
All right.
If anybody's seen K's slip up,
Yeah, please.
write in and let us know.
Public service announcement, please.
Yes.
Yeah, my rubber
PSA.
slipper.
It would help all of us.
Thank you very
Yes.
much.
Cinderella.
We'd all be happier.
Well, it's less noisy around here.